4. Ghana's National AI Strategy and Digital Transformation Blueprint. The Ministry of Communications has led the drafting of Ghana's National Artificial Intelligence Strategy. This draft strategy, which has been co-created through high-level consultations with stakeholders, including the British High Commission, UNESCO, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology's Responsible AI Lab, and GIZ, and the UNDP, has led to a strategy document which has completed legal reviews and is scheduled for cabinet presentation this quarter. Parallel to this, we have continued in May to launch the National Digital Transformation and Emerging Technology Strategy. This document sets out a roadmap for ethical and sovereign integration of emerging technologies, particularly artificial intelligence, across sectors such as agriculture, healthcare, logistics, financial inclusion, and education. This strategy reinforces Ghana's commitment to inclusive, right-based digital development. At the ministry, we have taken action aimed at reform, integrity, and oversight. Because like I stated in my first accountability report, we believe that the Operation Recover All Loot initiative of His Excellency the President is multi-sectoral. And so at our ministry, we have decided to embark on that. First, and reporting on under that will be the Kelni GVG contract. Following concerns about the cost effectiveness of the Kelni GVG revenue monitoring contract, the ministry referred the matter to the Attorney General's Department for review. We have noted that the value of money paid to Kelni GVG has increasingly increased as a percentage of revenue, rising from 28% to 84% in October 2024. I have directed a renegotiation of the terms of the Kelni GVG contract for the remainder of the contract pending the Attorney General's advice, and we have also made the decision not to extend the contract beyond its current terminal date. Smart Infraco and compliance enforcement. You remember and recall that in my first brief to the country, I indicated that we had realized that a private company, Smart Infraco, had 100% access to the National Data Center, and the National IT Agency did not have any access. I immediately directed that that should be rectified, and as we speak, NITA has 95% access and root access to the National Data Center and all of our infrastructure. Smart Infraco has also failed to honor multiple financial obligations under the agreements that they have with the ministry, including an upfront payment of $2 million and annual payments of $1 million. I have directed enforcement and compliance of those terms immediately. Efforts are underway now to compel full payment of arrears, else we would take advice from the legal counsel to terminate that contract in order to protect the public interest. NGIC and 5G. The NGIC, Next Generation Infrastructure Company, the exclusive shared neutral 4G, 5G infrastructure provider, is progressing steadily towards its target of activating 350 5G ready cell sites by the last quarter of 2025, with at least 50 live sites for 5G expected in Accra and Kumasi. As of today, NGIC has deployed 16 5G ready sites and received full NCA approval for its core network infrastructure. I've also indicated in my last briefing that failure by NGIC to roll out full commercial activities by end of Q4 this year will lead to me terminating the terms of that contract, taking away the exclusivity clause in there, and opening it up for fresh negotiations. 4. Ghana.gov. The Ghana.gov platform has run under the previous administration of President Akufo-Addo without a contract. Millions of Ghana cedis, in fact, hundreds, tens of millions of Ghana cedis were paid every month to companies without a contract. We have put an end and a stop to that. Since President Mahama came into office, not a pesewa has been paid on that because we cannot keep paying for a project that has no contract. The ministry has redesigned the project. We're going to launch it in Q4 of this year, working closely with the Ministry of Finance. We're currently at the Public Procurement Authority seeking clearance to proceed with a public tender to ensure that the best value for money is achieved for the Ghanaian people. The redesigned site will feature faster access, full Ghana card integration, an intuitive, streamlined interface tailored for both individuals and businesses, and will harmonize all of government's payment gateways and platforms into one portal. 5. Operation Recover All Loot Oral, specific to broadcasting frequency audit. As part of the government's oral initiative, the ministry directed the NCA to conduct a comprehensive audit of broadcasting frequencies. The first phase of the audit revealed multiple regulatory infractions with a total estimated tax penalty of 9.5 million Ghana cedis. Several stations have already been shut down for non-compliance. The ministry remains committed to reclaiming state assets and ensuring that frequencies are allocated transparently and in accordance with law. And you will also recollect that about 5 weeks ago, the ministry issued a directive to the NCA to shut down 64 radio stations. The President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, intervened and requested for amnesty, which we granted a 30-day amnesty. Let me state that of the 64 radio stations, 58 of them have written to the NCA and started the process of regularizing their paperwork. However, you would recall that I indicated that the total number of radio stations in default was 210. The 64 was just one phase. We expect that the public sensitization with the first batch of 64 would have compelled the others to have taken steps to rectify their anomaly. For all those who have failed to take any step, there will be no further public announcement on it. There simply will be enforcement in order of protecting the public resource. 6. Girls in ICT. The ministry has scaled the 2025 Girls in ICT initiative across the Volta region, Upper East region, and Upper West region as part of efforts to close the gender gap in digital skills. In June this year, 1,000 girls from 18 districts in the Volta region completed a 3-week practical training program covering web development, game animation, cybersecurity, and coding, equipping them with relevant tools for Ghana's future digital economy. The Girls in ICT initiative reinforces our inclusive digital transformation agenda by investing in the next generation of female tech leaders and ensures that digital opportunity is genuinely national. And let me once again remind you that this initiative was an initiative that started under President John Evans Atta Mills and Vice President John Dramani Mahama in 2012. Now, on consumer and public interest protection efforts, I'll start with PayPal. The ministry has formally reopened engagements with PayPal to restore full access to its service for Ghanaian users. As of June 2025, PayPal's regional government relations team has issued Ghana a compliance roadmap outlining the technical, regulatory, and financial standards required for whitelist reinstatement. The ministry is working closely with the Bank of Ghana and other key stakeholders to fulfill these conditions and to ensure PayPal also meets the necessary requirements to operate in Ghana. This effort is a strategic priority to expand access to global digital payment platforms for freelancers, SMEs, startups, and the creative sector. Securing PayPal access will remove a long-standing barrier to participation in the global digital economy and expand financial inclusion and cross-border trade opportunities for millions of Ghanaians. We're working closely with the governor of the Bank of Ghana to ensure that PayPal is given access to our economy and our digital space. However, we'll insist that PayPal will comply with the regulations of the Bank of Ghana. 2. TikTok. As part of our efforts to promote a safe, vibrant, and inclusive digital creative economy, I met with TikTok's West Africa Government Relations team on the 26th of June. Our discussions focused on enforcing age restrictions, safeguarding minors, and promoting responsible content development. I urged TikTok in that meeting to ensure fair compensation for Ghanaian content creators, and I also proposed the establishment of a local moderation and content governance team to reflect Ghana's value, protect our user rights, and support national regulatory expectations. I'm looking forward to the TikTok partnership with the ministry to provide capacity building for our content creators in the country on how best to monetize that platform for the benefit of Ghanaian content creators. That should happen in Q4 this year. Now, MultiChoice Ghana. I made the announcement that I had directed MultiChoice to be present at the ministry for a meeting. At that meeting, we requested a 30% reduction in pricing for subscribers of MultiChoice Ghana's packages. The meeting addressed public concerns about affordability, value for money, and fairness in service delivery. I made clear the ministry's expectation that pricing structures had to be responsive